Hello, this is Jeff Williams, CEO of BizStarters and Chief Coach for the Virtual Incubator Coaching Network. Over the next 35 minutes, I'll be your guide to the wonderful opportunity that you possess to become your own boss at this point in your life. I'm excited to be with you today and to share with you some surprising and fascinating facts about becoming an entrepreneur. For the past 25 years, I've been guiding individuals just like you to start fun and rewarding new lives as independent business owners. I've worked with all kinds of people with all kinds of skills and experience, but all who share a compelling desire to work in a new way. A way that allows them to do work they love each day, to enjoy schedule flexibility, and to earn an attractive supplement to their income. Now let me explain what you'll learn during this webinar. Firstly, I'm going to explore why we want to keep working, particularly those of us over age 50. And I will examine the 3 most common ways to do it. Next, I want to present 7 reasons why I think running a business is the way to work today. I'm very excited about this. Third, I want to discuss a very exciting new social phenomenon in America, which I'm calling Boomer Business Bonanza. I want to explain why it's happening and what its impact is. Next, I'll share what I call our secret sauce. These are the 8 steps that we use to help anyone launch a good business idea into a great business. This has been developed over the last 25 years of our coaching with more than 4,000 clients. And then I'm going to wrap up by explaining in detail how our virtual incubator coaching program can help you to move through the 8-step process to launch quickly, profitably, and professionally. So let me just invite you at this point to sit back and relax. Obviously, the webinar is recorded. You'll be able to replay it as often as you wish, so you don't really need to take notes. If you do have any questions, feel free to send them to me at jeff@bizstarters.com, bizstarters.com. Well, let's get started with our. Why should you seriously consider becoming your own? Well, surveys done recently by Merrill Lynch and MetLife show that 75% of the people interviewed, which were primarily people over 50, 75% want to continue working well into their 60s and some beyond. And more than 10,000 people in the United States turn 65 each day. And this is a point in life when many people look for a new path in life, and quite often this involves the type of work that they do. Now, we've discovered in working with clients over 25 years that there are 3 really strong motivations for why people want to keep working, particularly in their 50s and 60s. The first is we boomers are used to being in the action. We want to continue to feel that we are making a meaningful contribution and that we're helping to solve problems and tasks. Number 2, this is an opportunity for us to do work we really enjoy. Unfortunately, many of us have had to do jobs in the corporate world that we did not always enjoy, or in some cases just outright disliked. We had to do this for obvious reasons, to help pay college tuition, or buy a new house, or take care of an elderly relative. Well, those demands may continue, or they may have passed in your life, but regardless, this is an opportunity to do work you really enjoy and not work that someone else has created. And thirdly, I think all of us would agree we could use a major injection in our income. There are basically 3 ways to continue to work. Let me explore each of these one by one. Option 1 is to continue working in a corporate job. This is what the vast majority of people in the United States do for work. But there are a couple problems in today's job market associated with this option. Problem number 1 is if you have a job, they may not want you to continue in the job. More than 3 million people over 55 have been laid off since 2008. And in fact, the unemployment rate among people over 55 is 40% higher than the 1982 recession. Job search experts tell us that approximately 7.9 million jobs have disappeared, many forever. Now, what does this mean for you? Well, it means that if you had one of these jobs, you could be the most expert, experienced, talented person in this job. You may have always gotten superior performance reviews and maybe even some fairly good salary increases. But now the job or its job category is gone. It means that you're never going to do that work again. Okay, problem 2. If you don't have a corporate job, it's hard to get one. Why is this? Well, one very important reason is that age matters a lot to corporate employers. The typical hiring manager today is under age 40. And when he or she considers hiring someone over 50, they see a number of potential disadvantages. Number 1, they believe you'll cost the group insurance plan more. Number 2, they think you'll produce less work because of lack of stamina. 3, they think you don't know how to use the latest technology. And number 4, they think that you'll resist new ideas because you're set in your ways. Now, you and I know that for most of us, some or all of these are not true. But it's the perception of these younger hiring managers that one or more of these is true. And quite often, when it comes to the job market, perception is more powerful than reality. Okay, let's look at an additional challenge here, and that is for women who are single. According to a survey done by the New York Times last year, 51% of women over 50 say they are living without a spouse. They may be widowed, divorced, or perhaps they never married. Well, what does this mean? This means that in addition to the age-related obstacle that these women might face in trying to either stay in a job or get into a job in the corporate world, many of them don't have the safety margin of another income from a spouse. So it's even more challenging for them to find a productive way to work. Now let's look at option 2. This is to find work outside the corporate world. But there's a problem associated with this also, and that is that with the current 7.5% unemployment rate, experts in job search tell us that there are about 3 people competing for each job opening. What does this mean to you? Number 1, it means that it's hard to find more than 20 hours per week of steady work today. It means that wages in these jobs often top out at less than $15 per hour, which makes it pretty difficult to manage a family budget on. Thirdly, there's no health benefits. This may matter or not matter, depending on whether you get retiree health benefits or someone else in your family gets the health benefits. And number 4, jobs in this category quite often can be very physically demanding. Now let me give you an example. I was at my local Lowe's hardware store a few weeks ago, and while walking down one of the aisles looking for some help, I noticed a guy about my age, early 60s, hauling a big load of lumber around. And the thought that came into my mind was that he doesn't really want to be doing that kind of work at this point in his life. Okay, let's look at option number 3. Now before I discuss this in more detail, let me just preface this by saying that I'm biased toward this option because I've been an entrepreneur for 25 years, started several companies, plus helped thousands of other people start, and I also make my money from being an entrepreneurial coach. So that's just a little disclaimer before I get into the next slide. Let me explain 7 reasons why I feel that running a business is the way to work today. Number 1, when you run your own business, your age doesn't matter. Whether you're selling goods and services to corporations or to consumers, your customers don't care how old you are. They only care that you deliver what you promised when you promised it. Now this may surprise you, the next point, and that is according to job search experts, new businesses last longer than new jobs. A typical hire in a corporate job today only lasts 18 months in the job, whereas a typical new business lasts at least 2 years, and many of them more than 5. Number 3, you have a lot of people to sell to, particularly if you're over 50. First of all, you have your 76 million fellow boomers to sell to, and quite often they will see you like a brother or sister figure and be very inclined to listen to what you say. In addition to this, you also have 42 million people over age 70. And they may well see you as a son or daughter figure and be equally inclined to listen to what you have to say. This gives you in total more than 120 million people to sell to without even going that far out of your age bracket. Number 4, you can work where you wish. Thanks to the web and smartphones, you can often work any number of places and still effectively run your business. For example, I can run my business part of the year in Chicago, where I'm based, and part of the year in Florida by using technology. Or I can stay in touch with operations for my company from the beach in the Caribbean. Number 5, you determine your financial progress. I don't know about you, but I had several instances in the corporate world when I had mean-spirited bosses who did everything they could to block my salary increase, even a minimal one. Well, the situation is totally different when you're self-employed. For example, every January I sit down and I determine how much personal income I want for the year. And then I determine through a little mini marketing plan what I need to do it. Do I need to add new products? Do I need to sell more to the same customers? Do I need a whole new set of customers? And by the end of January every year, I've done my little mini marketing plan, and I spend the next 11 months pursuing the goals and strategies in the plan. Now, I must tell you honestly that in the 25 years I've been self-employed, some years I have not come close to the goal. But many more years I have made the goal than I haven't made the goal. You can work for as long as you wish. One of the big impediments in the job market today is that in many cases you may want to continue working and they come to you and say, we want you out, either through downsizing or through some type of forced early retirement plan. So you don't always get the option to continue to work for as long as you want. But when you run your own company, you can continue to work as long as your interest and health permit you to work. And as a matter of fact, the Internal Revenue Service likes small business owners. They give you the option to deduct up to 40% of your salary as deferred compensation as a small business owner. And you can continue to do this as long as you are legitimately still running your company, which could be into your 70s. This is very attractive to people who've come from the corporate world because in many cases when you leave the corporate world, your deferred compensation contributions end. But you can now pick up on it as a self-employed person and continue to add to your retirement savings. And the last and very exciting reason that I think that running a business is the way to work is it's never been cheaper to start and run a business. Let me share with you a chart that shows some expenses for a small business today. Now, I'm not going to go over each line item, but you'll notice that the total at the bottom is under $600 per month. Now, admittedly, in some cases, health insurance is going to cost you more than $300. But even if it was double, you're still looking at less than $1,000 a month to run many, many kinds of businesses today. To me, this is really a low-risk proposition. Now, let me transition into a brief discussion about this very exciting sociological trend that's occurring in the United States, what I call the boomer business bonanza. For 10 of the last 11 years, Americans 55 to 65 have been the fastest growing group of new business owners in the U.S. And this may really surprise you, but according to Inc. magazine, people over 55 are almost twice as likely to launch high-growth startups than those aged 20 to 34. Now, why is this happening? It's happening because more and more people are discovering a new way to run a business. Before I describe the exciting new way to run a business, let me explain what the old way was. In the old world of small businesses, many businesses were retail. This required expensive rent and other space-related costs, which immediately raised your risk. Many of these businesses also had one or more employees and their associated costs. Many business owners used to have to incur travel expenses to do business deals. As a matter of fact, I can remember back in the mid-90s, before the internet really started to take hold, going to Kansas City for several hours to conclude a business deal, and it cost me over $1,200. And fourth, in the old style of business, businesses promoted themselves primarily with newspaper and magazine ads and direct mail, both of which are very expensive. Now let me share with you the exciting new world of small business. This is the world of business that we prepare our clients to enter into through virtual incubating. Today you work from home. In most cases, there's no business rent involved, which immediately lowers your risk. Most businesses starting today have no employees. When you need help, you replace this with online services and contractors. And I'm a perfect example of this. I have over a dozen contractors who are all successful independent business owners who assist me when I need them. I only pay them as I need them. They help me with everything from graphic design to QuickBooks help. Thirdly, businesses today can do deals easily via the web, email, and Skype. 2 years ago, I put together a distribution agreement for our products in the United Kingdom using only email and Skype. I'm making money from this deal, and I've never met my partners face-to-face. And the fourth characteristic of the new world of business is very exciting, and that is that social media and email marketing are powerful promotional tools, and they're almost free to use. Number one, you can create a large corporate presence easily and quickly today. The first step is to put up a very professionally designed and well-written company website. If you do this right, you'll look as compelling as the corporate giants out there. Then you supplement your website with company pages on social media such as LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, and Tumblr. Each one of these services allows you to put up a page at no cost. In addition, on Facebook and LinkedIn in particular, you can create your own groups around a particular topic. 2 years ago, I created a LinkedIn list called Boomer Biz Zone, which is for the older new entrepreneur. We discuss topics, we share articles, and we ask and answer questions through the group. This is a great way to get your name out, and it doesn't cost you 1 penny. By using the social media and the power of the web, you can reach millions of people today with your messages as opposed to hundreds or thousands like you used to. And let me just wrap up in this section by sharing with you some information that came from a top consulting company. They predict that revenue gained through companies using social media will grow by $6.3 billion over the next 5 years. So it's not just a way to spread the word about your company. You actually can make real money through social media. Now let me explain a reality here that a lot of people don't really know or understand, and that is that there's more than one economy in the United States. There are, in fact, 2 economies that we deal with in our startup program. The first is Economy 1. This is the economy of buying big consumer purchases, such as big screen TVs, cars, and houses. Now, for most of the 5 previous years, sales in this particular part of the economy have been down severely. It's only been the last 6 or 7 months the car and house sales have started to pick up again because the interest rates are so low. You'll notice that I depict this by having a graphic arrow pointing downward. Economy 2, however, you'll notice that the arrow graphic is pointing dramatically upward. Why is this? This is the economy of selling services, and it's growing by double digits. Why is this? There are 2 primary reasons. The first we call time poverty. What this means is that particularly among 2 working spouse households, they don't have time to do many, many things in their lives and around their houses. They hire other people to do it for them. Everything from meal preparation to lawn mowing to taking their children to after-school activities. These are all small entrepreneurial companies, just like the kind you can start. And the second big cause for the growth in this category is corporate outsourcing. When a corporation downsizes employees, they get rid of them off the payroll, but they don't necessarily get rid of the job responsibilities that they used to do. So how do they get the work done? Well, in some cases, they just put more work on the surviving employees, but this only goes so far. Sooner or later, they have to go outside the company to get either independent contractors or consultants to help them do the work. And these are people like you and I. I've had a consulting company for 25 years in addition to my entrepreneurial training company. Now at this point, you may be wondering, how do I turn a good idea into a great business? Chances are pretty good that before you signed up for the webinar, you had some kind of business idea in your head. And you're probably thinking, boy, this seems difficult and complex. Well, it's not. Let me just tell you before I get into our secret sauce, our 8 steps for launching any great business, let me just tell you that everything you need to know and everything you need to do to launch a great business has already been done many, many times before, and we know exactly how it was done. So let's take a look at the process here. Step number one is that you need to connect to the marketplace. And what this is the development of a mini marketing plan in writing to talk about 4 key things. Number one, businesses are successful to a large extent because they identify a problem they can solve or a need they can meet. So you start off by describing the problem. You then obviously have to have a solution. So the second part of our mini marketing plan is to describe a superior solution. Now, how do you know it's superior? Well, you have to go out and do some competitive research. And this is very easily done by using a search engine to look up other companies that are in a similar niche to you and seeing what they offer. And then coming back and honestly saying, I've got something better. That's a superior solution. Number 3, you need to identify people who will pay for your solution. And number 4, you need to sell to an increasing number of them as time goes on. This is how you grow your company. Step number 2 is you need to stop them in their tracks. And what we're saying here is that you need to have a really strong identity for your business, both in terms of the words and in terms of the visual. This is one part of the 8-step process where we really strongly recommend that you use professionals to help you do this work, whether it be logo design, business card layout and printing, or your website design. And in fact, we've put together a complete marketing service team to assist our clients in Virtual Incubator. I'll talk about this more later. Step number 3, you need to find, pitch, and sell, and repeat as often as possible. This is the basic selling process. Once you've identified people that will pay for your solution, you need to find them in groups, you need to give your selling story to them, and then you need to close the sale and hopefully collect the money. Step number 4 is you need to spread a wide web. And by web here, I don't mean spider web. I mean the World Wide Web. I spoke previously about the importance of having a good website design today. This is critical because having a website that's well done gives you not just a local market or a regional market, it gives you a national and international market. I mentioned a few slides back that I had put together a deal in the United Kingdom using email and Skype. Well, the way the process started, the way they found out about me, was twofold. First of all, I was quoted in a national business magazine here in the United States, and in that quotation, I had my web address. They went to the website, realized what I did, thought they could sell that in the United Kingdom, and came to me and started the conversation. So if I had not had the website, they might have taken the time to find my address and write me, but by having the web address, they were able to move forward very quickly and easily. Okay, the next step is to get them talking about you. This is what we call the customer service strategy. And there are 2 things that you want to have your customers do. But first of all, you need to start off by making sure your customers are very happy. You can do this through postcards, through response areas on your website, by talking to them live, by talking to them on the phone. But you have to make sure they're happy with what you're doing. And if they're not, you need to fix it. Because happy customers help you grow your business. Unhappy customers will kill your business. Now, once you have some happy customers, what you need to do then is what I call the 2 R's. You need to ask them if you can use their personal recommendation in your selling, particularly on your website. And number 2, you need to ask them if they can refer you to anyone like them who has a similar need. Now, let me shift gears a little bit away from the marketing-related topics into a legal topic. The step number 6 in our process is you need to protect yourself. And you do this basically through 3 processes. One is you pick a legal form that gives you protection. And this usually means incorporating or setting up a limited liability company. In order to help you to do this and advise you, you need, number 2, to set up a relationship with a local small business attorney. And we help you to do this in the Virtual Incubator program. And then number 3, you need to have legal documents such as contracts wherever they're appropriate. Step number 7 is you need to protect your money. And you do this by having a smart financial management system, which starts by using accounting software, QuickBooks in particular. You also need to do financial projections and know where your cash is at all times. You need to have online access to your bank accounts so you can watch them. You need to have profitable pricing to assure that you make the maximum amount of money per sale. And you need to understand what your tax obligations are so that you are properly putting money aside during the year. And the last thing in protecting your money is you need to understand what insurance coverage your business needs and to make sure you go out and get it. Now, the eighth and last step in our process to turn good ideas into great businesses is to keep your quality high as you grow. This is what we call the operations plan. This is a major challenge. When you're only selling 1 unit a month, it's very easy to keep your quality, but you're not going to grow your company that way. So you have to prepare before you launch for the day when you're selling 100 units a month. And how will you keep the quality? This is done through the use of outside labor, it's through your vendors and suppliers it's through your production and shipping process. There's a number of different things that go together in the operations plan. Now, if you're like me, after you look at the 8-step list, the next question that comes into your mind likely is, how do I get all this done? Well, let me explain to you how the virtual incubator coaching system is done. But before I do that, I want to quote a comment from Cheryl Connor, who's a very popular small business columnist with Forbes.com. This was published last month. Entrepreneurs need to rely on each other and on an increasingly strong web of mentors and resources to help them succeed. Now, before I advance to the next slide, I'm not really going to say anything about this slide because I think it's pretty self-explanatory. So let me go ahead and... Now, I know this is quite a strong claim that we are your mentor and resource, so let me explain why. First of all, we offer 25 years of startup experience in Virtual Incubator, from which we share a wide variety of insider tips, money-saving tasks, and valuable connections. We know what you need to do, when you need to do it, and how long it will take to do it. Next, we give you award-winning business planning tools. These tools were the primary basis for Virtual Incubator being selected as the best entrepreneurial guide for people over 50 by Kiplinger's Personal Finance magazine. Our business startup experts, that is our Virtual Incubator coaches, guide you with intensive one-on-one coaching to get your business up and running quickly and professionally. We currently have 8 Virtual Incubator coaches, including myself, ranging from North Carolina to California and from Ohio to Texas. In many cases, the coaching is done via phone, email, and the web. So it really doesn't matter where your coach is located, but in some cases, people like to have face-to-face interaction with their coach, and therefore we have them in a number of geographical areas around the country. Our team of service pros completes your complete marketing system from logo to compelling website. As I said, we have put together over the last 5 to 7 years a network of startup experts who are really, really good at what they do, whether it be logo design or QuickBooks setup. And we've then gone to them, and in return for giving them a steady flow of startup clients, we've negotiated particularly low prices with them, which we then pass along to you through the Virtual Incubator program. Now, at this point during the live webinar, we normally take questions. So let me just invite you once again, if you have a question on what you've seen previously in the presentation, please feel free to send it to me at jeff@bizstarters.com, and please just write in the subject line, webinar question. That way my staff will know to jump on this right away and get you an answer. Before I wrap up today, I'd like to share with you 2 thank yous for taking the time to watch the webinar recording. First is our popular ebook, Earn Big from What You Already Know. This is an electronic download that you'll be able to bring onto your computer immediately after you request it. In this ebook, there are 176 different ways to turn your interest, knowledge, and experience into a money-making business. And then there's a very proven 5-step process to determine different ways you can make money from your idea. And our second bonus, and I'm very excited about this, is a free 30-minute business idea review with myself or with another virtual incubator coach. To request your bonuses and to sign up for your business idea review, just go to www.bizstarters.com/bonuses.html. Let me spell that. It's www.bizstarters.com/bonuses.html. Well, thank you so much for joining me today on my webinar, Start Your Business Now. I hope to hear from you and for us to have a chance to explore how we can move you onto the entrepreneurial track. Thank you.